Hi, Monish. My question, it's really about how you assess when a business fundamentally goes from being temporarily challenged to structurally challenged or in sort of terminal decline. If you look at the big consumer goods companies or much of retail. So how do you sort of assess that?
Well, I mean, I think that a couple of comments there. One is that we have such a large choice, uh, a large range of options when we're making investments. I mean, there are like 50,000 stocks globally. So I think one should be a harsh grader, and there's there are no called strikes in this game, unlike baseball, and you can let a lot of balls go. So we can do very well without buying consumer packaged goods or buying retailers. So if things bother you about, a lot of things, so capitalism by definition is extremely brutal. Pretty much any company in existence today will not exist. Maybe most of them will not exist even a couple of decades from now, or maybe even less than that. So the demise of virtually every business is guaranteed. Um, so given that backdrop, I think what we as investors should do is we should be very harsh graders. And if we don't have a crystal ball that tells us that a retailer is going to be in great shape 10 years from now or 15 years from now, then unless you're getting it really cheap and you know you're only dependent on next, let's say, 2 or 3 years of cash flow to cover what you're paying, for example, and you have kind of strong conviction on that, you can take a pass. I mean, there's entire industries you can take a pass on, not a problem. And I think you can also uh, build plenty of wealth while just understanding one or two industries. So one doesn't need to have kind of Swiss Army knife approach to investing. There are plenty. In fact, if you look at most entrepreneurs, they've created their wealth with an extremely narrow skill set that they've capitalized on. I mean, they know. I mean, they are basically an inch wide and a mile deep, and that's a perfectly fine way to go. So better to be an inch wide and a mile deep than a mile wide and an inch deep. And so specialization has a huge advantage. And uh, if you're questioning core structural aspects of industries, you can always take a pass, and there's no penalty for that.